have nothing better to do.
Yes, indeed. You're listening to the MooCamp Radio Show here on Set Close House.
And
go on.
Text and tweets.
Are you doing it? Okay,
I'll
start the music then.
Yeah, okay.
Go now. Start.
Okay, I'm ready. Okay.
Floor is yours.
At the Dan
Whenever you're
McCullough. At the Dan McCullough has tweeted in to tell us what he thought. That was a Stonewall penalty. The lino should be ashamed. At the Dan McCullough tweets again to say, I agree with Modders, should have had a penalty. Carl from MK1 has texted in to tell us what he thought. What the officials at the Brighton game last Saturday were tremendous. They were magnificent throughout the game and were a credit to themselves. They were different class. Everyone who went to Brighton last Saturday has texted and shout penalty. Samir from MK1 has texted and say, did I get a penalty?
There you go. Thanks very much, Samir. Good to hear from you again. I don't know if I've ever made it properly clear that half of the stuff we do on here was actually made by Paul Harris.
Paul Harris,
yeah.
Paul Harris show.
It is.
All I can say, that was a very productive 20 minutes one Sunday afternoon.
That is very, very, very good.
That's what Sundays are for.
Exactly.
Join me, Gary Fitz, every Monday night, 10 o'clock.
Leading the fight, one man fate has made indestructible. His name,
Gary Fitz here.
2 hours of the coolest tunes, every Monday night, 10 o'clock.
Yes, indeed. You listen to the MooCamp Radio Show here on Set Close Sounds, the Don show that, that is the only Don show, so we don't have to think about clever things to say like that. It's us, so listen and enjoy. The thousands of you that are listening already, keep texts and things like that coming in because it's always exciting and makes our evening and stuff. Right. We have an interesting scenario in that we only have scenario. That's the multiple. What's the word I'm looking for? That's the multiple of scenario. That's not the right word. Text in if you know the right word. Yes, we have only one game to talk about and 43 minutes of the show left.
And it was classic.
Yeah, it was an interesting, just quick show of hands.
No hand.
Yeah, I was there.
You were not.
I wasn't.
I was there.
I sent a representative, though.
That's fair enough. Was the boy there? Yeah?
He was.
Yeah. Did he enjoy it?
I'm not. I don't think so, to be quite honest.
You not asked that question, have you?
I did. Yeah. No, he didn't.
Okay. Right, well, that's that done then. I had a great day out, to be honest. It was really good fun. It was a really nice stadium, relatively relaxed journey down there on the coach.
You didn't run into any Luton fans at Crawley?
Didn't run into any Luton fans at Crawley? Did that happen in other areas?
I do believe that they were there in Crawley for the FA Cup and they said beware if you were going down by train.
Oh, bless.
But I didn't hear anything, so...
Little loves.
Yeah, I know.
Aren't they special? Okay.
They are.
We beat them this week.
You did, yes.
Was that a development game against them?
Yes.
I didn't realise that. Okay.
In front of a packed audience as well.
Packed audience, yeah.
Looked like a real game to me. You've seen the empty seats, but there you go.
Did you see? I saw Carl on Look East on Monday night before he was talking about having to have. He wants
What
to have
side's
cameras.
that on?
BBC.
Oh, I normally watch BBC. We're not allowed to watch ITV in our house because it's common.
Is it? Oh, okay. He was being interviewed about Saturday's game and saying how referees should have video technology for the last third of the pitch. And beforehand, he was looking out over the stadium when nobody was there. He was just pondering. I don't know what he was pondering, but he was just looking out over this vast amount of empty seats going, where is everybody? Where is everyone? But, he made his feelings perfectly clear on bemoaning about the fact of the what's been happening as regards to referees and decisions against us recently.
He certainly wasn't happy on the radio.
He
after
wasn't.
He was fuming, to be quite
everyone
honest.
Was
I think
terrible.
he's got a fine for that, to be quite honest.
Everyone was
I think
terrible.
What he said is probably correct, to be quite honest. I was listening to it on the radio, like you do, and Luke, an old matey boy, jumped up straight away and said it was a penalty. When you looked at the
was it a penalty?
Well, you were there. What did it look like when you were there?
Absolutely no doubt that was a penalty.
Yeah, it looked like
there were some people
there.
I was chatting to Mr. Camdenite on the way out, and he said he didn't think it was. But
Dan McCullough,
I trust he'll have changed his mind. Dan was standing right. Dan didn't think it was a penalty.
No, that's what all that text.
He was standing right in front of me.
He was having a massive Twitter argument with Modders on Saturday night about it.
Well, someone put up a freeze frame online that essentially showed the player's leg between ball and and Samir.
Yeah.
But if you actually watch the live thing, he just comes and takes the player out. So,
If you go into someone and he's on the ball and you do a tackle and the ball keeps going in the direction it was going on, but the guy goes up in mid-air and lands,
there's kind of a suggestion.
That's a foul, to be quite honest.
Yeah, the linesman... I mean, to be honest, when I watched it, I thought it was... the only thing it couldn't be was a goal kick. But I think
He gave
the suggestion he was... eventually gave a corner,
a bit weird.
Yeah, but yeah, it should definitely have been a penalty. It was. Having said that, I don't think we made him work hard. You know, we were not great in places, but for a lot of that game, I thought we were quite good. We played them quite well.
I think when we scored,
yeah,
that was a good goal.
Yeah, and it came out of nothing. That'll do wonders for Maynard.
And it was a great goal, wasn't it?
Really well taken.
Really good goal, and it was outside the box.
So that was our first of the
First
season.
one outside the box.
Yeah,
that was good. I wasn't there.
No, it was.
I was
good.
listening though.
If you, I'm interested to know what people think about this actually, because lots of people talk about coach, and I know it's not the most exciting thing for some people, but it's really nice and straightforward way of getting down there.
Yeah,
I rather enjoyed it.
I quite like going on the coach, but coming back, I really don't like that for some reason.
Yeah,
just
that's
it's
where
easier.
I try and sleep.
That's one of the main reasons why my lad didn't enjoy it, because he drove to the ground.
Yeah,
there's nowhere to park.
No.
They got to the ground at 2:15.
Yeah,
to the ground, and they missed a kick-off eventually when they found somewhere to park. So that's over 45 minutes. But he left too late anyway, so it's his own stupid fault.
Well, it's true, and it does say everywhere you can't park at the stadium.
Yeah,
you can arrange if you arrange it early. Arrange it in advance. You can, but they charge you £15 to park the car at the stadium.
More than Stadium
Colon MK.
Wow.
More than double Stadium Colon MK.
Is it in the middle of nowhere? Is it a bit like that Colchester thing?
It is absolutely like that, but it's a much nicer ground.
It's near the A27, isn't it?
It's not far away.
Can you park on the A27?
Well, you could, I suppose, isn't it?
Yes.
Lay-by.
Was it raining?
It was raining, yes. Why do you ask that? Has that been discussed anywhere?
Well, I'm wondering if anyone couldn't sit on their seats because of the rain.
Yeah, absolutely no.
No one could sit on the seats.
Anyone could sit on the seats. There were some people suggesting that was the reason why they were standing, which was not true.
Right.
There are a few things we probably need to talk about. There were a group of, I won't say younger lot, basically there was a younger lot and all the lot who liked to stand with the younger lot. And they were just right at the front and standing in front of all the people who were trying to sit down. Which just wasn't on. I'm sorry. No. I know it's funny and all those sorts of things. We're making jokes of it. It was a real shame, actually, because there were a lot of people, people with kids and older people, even older than us, stuck in a situation where they couldn't see the game because the people who were at the front.
What were the stewards doing? Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. The only thing the stewards did was
weird, isn't it?
I was really surprised. I mean, they to my mind, they could have done a few things. They could have decided to get stroppy about it, chucked a couple of people out, which would have solved it.
Could these people that were standing up not stood up behind the people that were sat there and they could have moved to the front?
No, well, theoretically, if you can get that sort of synchronisation going, but in the absence of it, you sit down. That's what you do. What Brighton should have done was just there was a they have the sheets over the seats, the sheets over the seats, and there was one right by the side of us. All they had to do was move it over 5 seats, and the problem would have been solved. Yeah. And they just chose to do nothing other than bring down some paper towels for the people who said their seats were too wet to sit on,
nice.
Which was nice. But weirdly, they then didn't sit on the seats. I think because they were allergic to paper towel residue, which I did hear.
So next time, take a towel.
Take a towel. Yeah.
Take a towel. You always know where your towel is.
Definitely. Yeah. There was so. I mean, there's been talking points about this. Just shows we've got not much else to talk about. But there was chanting of the traditional chants against Brighton, which I'm not too fussed about, to be honest. But I know it upsets some people.
I think people are looking to be offended by stuff.
Yeah, I think some
easily find something to be offended at a football match, couldn't they?
I mean, from a personal perspective, I think that there are some real issues that get caused by some things of that kind, but I don't think that was one of them. I think that's the sort of thing that you've got to you've got to want to be offended by some of that. Yeah. Personally, please tell us if you think Jersey's wrong there, and I'm only saying what he tells me to say. Sammy B, good seeing Sammy again.
Did anyone stand up and clap him?
Yeah, well, it was that weird thing. It's almost like I've lined this up. All the things we get to talk about. To be honest, I always give the guy a cheer or clap him on and off the pitch. The fact that they sang his name when they were taking a corner in front of us during the game was
I think that's not
a little bizarre.
Just
that's just odd, and it's very difficult to know what to say in that situation. I have to say there was the most ridiculous thing, and if this is you may hang your head in shame right now.
I'm hanging it now.
You're hanging it now?
Yes.
When you're 2-1 down,
2-1
away from home against a very good side,
I know what you're going to say,
and the ball comes into your end, you have two choices. Do you A, get the ball back on the pitch so we can get on with the game, or B, ponce around with it like an idiot, or like a group of idiots? It was being passed around. People they were just chucking the ball to each other for a few minutes.
Did a couple of weeks ago, weren't they?
I wasn't at that game, but I'm sure that's correct.
They do it all the time, don't they?
That Leeds team who were winning and won the game. Yeah, it was. I actually shouted something.
Stop doing that!
I shouted, "Stop doing that!" But put a very, very rude, loud word at the end of that.
Stop doing it, blimey!
It was worse than gosh.
Ooh.
It really was.
But yeah,
just and I know that will be portrayed by some as being that was banter in some way, because I think that
was it a Danny Dyer impression?
I was doing a Danny Dyer impression. Yeah, I really
Get that ball
was.
back on there now.
Come on, son. You know
get
the
it
score.
on, you muppet!
Do be a good fella. Chuck the ball back on the pitch for us, if you don't mind.
That was menacing.
That's menacing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the kind of fella I don't really care what people do, but that is a bugbear of mine when people keep the ball. I just find it a bit annoying. And you think, come on, get it back on, you idiot.
In any situation,
even
if you do
you're
it, you're
winning,
a bellend. But if you do it when you're losing, you're an absolute
First
moron.
time I ever seen it done, ironically enough, was when we went to, what's that mad place, no one likes them, they don't care, down in East London.
The Wall of Mill.
Yeah, Millwall, that was it. I can't remember what it was called.
You cracked my code, I'm impressed.
Like Millwall, and they were 4-0 down. Remember that game?
That was
that game?
Sammy B's first proper game for his 2 goals.
There was like a gang of lunatics, about 10 of them, wasn't there? The ball, they kept the ball, and you think, you're 4-0 down, you morons. It's just a ridiculous thing to do. It really annoys me. And I'm not a guy that gets annoyed by a lot of things, but that really annoys me. So what can you say? Someone's written on this bit of paper, banner.
Banner, yeah. That was just because no one actually saw it at the time, but there was a banner in the crowd.
Was it anti-Milton Keynes?
An anti-Milton Keynes banner that I think said...
Why didn't you set up your own team or back MK City? Something like
that was
very
just
big banner.
Yeah, very big banner, yeah. And another thing it said. But it was well punctuated, and that's the important thing. Talking of that they still on Weapon Places talk about the lack of punctuation on our "We're keeping the Dons, get over it" banner.
We're keeping the Dons.
The punctuation was there. It was just shot from. There was one picture where it looks like there's not an apostrophe.
Yeah,
right.
And it's great. How did we get to this stage in our lives where we just had that conversation?
Yeah, what did this banner say?
It said something
You're
like
not very nice.
"MK no go" or "no go to MK" or "M." It was.
So it didn't even make sense.
Well, it probably made more sense than I'm just turning it into, but it wasn't a good banner. No one saw it at the time. One of the Kingston lot stuck it up on Twitter.
Right.
Well,
Twitter
they haven't
thing.
got much better to do, have they?
Well, exactly. Yeah.
Was it the classic started off with the letters all right, but by the time it got to the end, they'd run out of space and the letters had to go really small.
Very small.
Like a very cheap banner you have at an office when someone's leaving.
So sad you're leaving.
Best of luck, Dove.
Happy 50th. Yeah.
Oh, I love the old banners, the old bed sheets. They're my
the
favourite.
best ones, aren't they?
Down with this sort of thing.
Okay, right. We probably need to think about doing something else. We might come back to this later on because there's always other things to talk about. But for now, tell me what's coming up.
Okay, doke. In this section of the show, we've got the opportunity to sit back and contemplate the joys of a weekend without football as we discuss who the hell is fit enough to get an international call-up. We'll pull some franchise stuff, watch stuff out of
Franchise
the
watch stuff. Batch stuff.
We'll pull some franchise watch stuff out of the ether, that's it. Sorry, I'm worse than the guy with the bedsheet, aren't I? And we'll either see if we can identify a good punchline and it's in need of a joke. I've had stranger evenings, I got to be honest, but I can't figure out what it is at the minute.
Ah, my word. This just in. Following the rather interesting approach taken to terrace view prevention at the Brighton match, Don Supremo, Andrew Call Me Andy Cullen today announced the latest